Okay, I just got this download as I was driving really quickly, and I just want to say it before I forget. It's about shame and the Garden of Eden. Okay, so let's think about the story. Adam and Eve were in a garden, and everything is parable. So it's like giving you a story so you can relate it to yourself, okay, and how you're going through life. Adam and Eve were in the garden, and it was perfect. Okay, right? A man, a woman, it was perfect, okay? They were naked, right? They didn't even realize they were naked because that's just their natural form. And they probably made love and ate from trees and all sorts of stuff, right? But God said, don't eat from this one tree, right? And because then you'll die. And what does that mean? Okay, we all have been taught that, oh, because they ate an apple. So here's the thing: who is the serpent, and what is this whole thing? Okay, if you didn't know that you were naked and you were in complete bliss, the knowledge that the serpent brought was actually shame and judgment. Okay, it brought a separated, divided, shameful, judgmental awareness to the garden, to Adam and Eve, okay? And then they felt shame for having their parts out, so they covered it, right? So that, my friends, is the simplest aspect of understanding what the devil would be, okay, or what the serpent would be. But I'm not saying that the serpent is a real thing, or that, the devil's a real thing. It's literally a frequency or an energy of division, separation, and judgment. So it's like if you were doing your own thing and you were in a blissful thing, and then someone comes along and says, oh, don't do that, you don't look good when you do that, or, oh, weirdo, that brings shame onto you because they have judged you, and then you feel shame. And what that is really just a cast. It's a projection of their own shadow self, okay? So the serpent, right, is probably, in my idea, it's like if Adam and Eve were like the butterflies and the serpent is the caterpillar, and he's trying to get to the level of butterfly. It's easier to bring the butterflies down to your level than it is to have the butterflies get a caterpillar up to its level without the caterpillar having to go through the dirt, create a chrysalis, and do a self-transformation, okay? So the serpent's like, I know, I'm going to shame them and judge them and tell them that they're naked, tell them that they're silly, tell them that they're, and so that they will then bring this shame upon themselves. And what does shame and judgment do? It creates the division, which there's a purpose for that too, So I don't want to say there's bad and good. There's just different energies and different frequencies that are available to anyone who sort of like is going through life, and you feel them, you felt them all. I mean, a lot of them. You feel love, acceptance, you felt kindness, you felt hate, you felt judgment, all of this, okay? Well, the idea of learning knowledge, or the tree of knowledge, is learning about good and evil. That's the tree of knowledge, good and bad. So what that is just splitting your mind into the two. So one becomes the judger and one becomes the judged, if you will. And so you're always just like really judging yourself, and then taking that judgment or whatever awareness that you're resonating in, and you're projecting it out into the world, and that's what's being reflected back to you. It's sort of like this is what Ra is, R-A, radiant awareness being projected from yourself, and Isis would be I see. So it's like, yes, I see. So it's like you're projecting, and then the reality is reflecting what you're projecting back to yourself. And the distortion comes from this self-judgment, the self-shame, and the self-hate that we've all taken on through the idea that there is good and bad. And I'm not saying that, so obviously the universal code is don't hurt another person, okay? I mean, don't hurt another, right? And you know, but sometimes we don't even realize that we're harming another. You don't even realize the damage you do when a child is being free, and you know, and then you place some sort of shame or judgment upon them and say, ooh, you shouldn't act like that, or something like that. They carry that in, and that becomes their trauma, their shame that they carry, which is considered their shadow, okay? And it's okay though, because what does that shadow do when you alchemize it and you turn it back into light through saying, wait a minute, I went through this thing and I got shamed for it, and I accepted the judgment. I accepted someone that told me that I was not good or whatever. So you've energetically gotten into a contract with someone who is casting shame on you, and you've accepted it. And that increases your sort of like your traumatic shadow bag that you carry around and you resonate from. So if we can all sort of like start to turn back within and look at our own shadow, right? And you start to alchemize it and you say, wait a minute, okay, people have projected on me that I'm weird. Now let me sit and think, am I weird because I like to skip up and down the halls in the grocery store or whatever, or am I just free and living from my free self, right? This is the idea of spiritual alchemization. Okay, so this is just a quick little thing that I said. I hope this resonates. I hope I got everything that I wanted to get out. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, so basically, okay, and then to take the bite of life, right? The tree of life or whatever. So when you get shame and you realize there's good and bad, that's the whole split and division, right? And then when you take the tree of life, you realize, wait a minute, actually everyone is beautiful. We all are just sort of reflecting a different aspect of self, and a lot of us are projecting unhealed trauma. So essentially a lot of us are going through projecting our unhealed selves onto other people. And if the person also has shadow and has not gone back in and reconnected to their life force and realized, no, actually I'm loving, I'm kind, you know, they've already dealt with all of that, then you know, this is what causes the division, you know. So we divide to unify, we unify to divide. It's a whole process, and I love you. So thanks for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and yeah, like and subscribe. I don't know, I'm saying that because first of all, we need to recode what has been given and really make it understandable. And I'm here to do that. That's why I incarnated. So I love you guys, and I'm literally just sharing messages that Spirit gives me, okay? And what is Spirit? For me, in my understanding, it is my highest or most expanded sphere of awareness. So if you are like at the center, right, if you're looking at just like the black or white, right, when you come back out, you start to see that, oh, it merges into gray, and then you come back. So the spheres of awareness are just like expanded understandings of things that you want. It's like, you know, if you watch a movie that you saw when you were 7, it's like completely resonates differently based on how you've expanded your awareness. So that's the proof right there. Anyway, I love you. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.